Marvel Studios' own president Kevin Feige cannot confirm to us when Phase 4 will end, or even what it's ending with. And I think there's a lot of reasons for this, but one of them is more likely the best scenario and probably the reason. You know, it feels really good to have new Marvel content from Marvel Studios to talk about on a regular basis. Because of 2020, we really didn't have a whole lot, and it just sort of felt like it was forever till we get to the step where we can start speculating, discussing everything, dissecting the little pieces and what they're saying, and really start looking into it more and more. Now, recently, when Kevin Feige was asked about Phase 4, and if the current slate that we have is it, and if that's the end of it, the last project that they announced, if that's going to be the end of it, he said no. And he can't further talk about it. So there's a couple ways to look at this. And I think the best way to look at it is the fact that they haven't announced when multiple new films are coming. Like, we know most of the release dates up until the end of 2022. After that, there's 4 films in 2023 that we don't have actual dates that match up with the films that are going to come out in those dates. And typically, they would acknowledge what ended or started a phase. If you guys remember when they were talking about Phase 2, they were like, oh no, it doesn't end with this film, it ends with this one. Or Phase 3, for example, everybody was like, oh, it ends with Endgame, right? He goes, no, it actually ends with Spider-Man Far From Home. And people were confused as to why, but then we saw the movie. But this time, he's not willing to say anything like that because they haven't announced the entirety of Phase 4. And my guess is it's probably not ending in 2023. They're probably going to drag the next phase up until 2024, where I would say you're probably at least going to see the X-Men and some sort of new Avengers movie somewhere that year that's officially sort of going to bookend the Phase 4 slate and introduce us into Phase 5. And it's not going to shock me at all if Phase 4 ends on some big introduction like an X-Men film and Phase 5 begins with something wholly unexpected again, like WandaVision, for example, kicking off Phase 4. Look, we live in a reality where they could announce a year from now that Phase 4 is going to end with the Midnight Suns, and it's going to see Blade, the Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, and Morbius all team up to fight Mephisto, and we'd all just shake our head going, yeah, that makes sense. That's a good way to end it. And it won't make sense when we get to it, but for now, I understand why they can't confirm when Phase 4 ends, because they haven't announced everything. Because the moment they announce everything, people are going to look at some of the upcoming projects and go, oh, it's only Blade, but I could be seeing Midnight Suns. You know, you always run into that. We ran into that when they announced the entirety of the slate that was coming after Age of Ultron, which was a detriment to Age of Ultron. So what do you guys think is going to bookend Phase 4? Go pie in the sky. Take a guess. Your wildest dreams that you think could be real. I'm gonna go with Squadron Supreme. There we go.